it's MK, and I am gonna do kind of a live or a real-time video, but once I get scrapbooking, it's not gonna be real-time. But I am here with a Kit Conspiracy layout for you guys, and I was struggling a lot. And so I thought that I would share my process with you guys in case you guys struggle with the same thing that I've been struggling with. So I wanted to put a layout together about our ship that we were on. I know that I've taken pictures of the outside of our ship and how grand it is, how big it is, but I've never really taken pictures of bits and pieces of the ship just yet. Like, I have all these pictures of just the scale of, this is one little restaurant right here. This is looking at the front of the boat, going back to the boat, and you can see the garden down below on deck 8. I'm on deck 15. I mean, it is just phenomenal at this boat. And then of course the stacks on the boat were massively huge. They were one of my favorites. I wished I could have gotten a little on the side and actually saw the logo on the side of the stacks, but that is the area where you just really can't go. And so this was as close as I could get to said area. But these are the photos, and when I printed these, I was still back in the mindset of, I love my 4x6 pictures, right? I absolutely just loved having them most of the time. Like this one here, I could cut down to even a 3x4 if I chose to, and it would still be at the same scale of how I want to visually see this picture. This one here, I could definitely cut off this section here and shrink this picture up a little bit as well if I needed to, but still, again, get the scale, because I love my 4x6 pictures. But lately, you guys have been seeing me do pictures of all different kinds and sizes. You've seen me do really teeny tiny ones, and then a half-page one. So I put 4 on a page or a card, and then 2 on a card, because I like the variation. And this was a prime example of sharing that style with you guys, because I struggled coming up with a design layout for these 4 giant pictures. And as much as I looked at them, it's like, well, I didn't want this one to be my large picture. I can cut it down to make it look like it's a not a landscape, but a panoramic picture. I could definitely take that and cut it and make it a skinny little photo. I could take this and cut it down to make it more like a 3x4 going this way instead of a 3x4 what am I trying to say? Going this way, because I really wanted this this image up in here, you know, the horizon. And then again, this one can be a 3x4 going this direction, and this I can cut off whatever this little bit is right here, which I think might be the entrance into the slides. I'm not really sure, but I could cut it off and still not lose any bit of this photo right here. So I could have trimmed all these photos down and made it look like I was trying to go for a design of some sort, but it still wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. Like, it wasn't going in the direction that I was struggling with, because I only want to do a single page layout. And then I also have this card here that is from the page kit that we got on the ship. And it says, our ship, the captain, the cruise director, and then my favorite activities. Well, I really just wanted to put this photo right here and bring it down to where you had this line, but you still have all this rainbow color, and then just put our ship, right? And then the name of our ship, which I have multiple times on our on my pages already. So really, I didn't need this, but I thought it was kind of cool if I brought it up some and covered up this line. So that way it's just, this is our ship and these are pictures of our ship, right? So this, you know, like, let me introduce you to our ship type of thing, and that would be my title with just this. You know, here's our ship, and then here's some really cool features of our ship that I could get on top deck, because other than that, trying to take pictures of, you know, what's inside the garden and all of these little things, it just was too much. But this is a good representation of, you know, our ship, our home for 7 days. So it was great. But I struggled with getting all of these pictures on one 12 by 12 layout. And so I decided to start going through some of Page Map's sketches, because honestly, I was struggling. I really was. I just couldn't figure it out. I could go to my go-to design and put this like so, and cover up this, and then cut this down to 4x and put it right here, and it be the title Our Ship, right? And then I just have this little section right here to design. I could have definitely done that. That would have been a great design. But do I really need to see this much of the front of the boat? I mean, for one, I get this design right here that is the window that I was actually peeking out of to get the picture of the helipad. So I don't really need that. Again, this one, I don't mind keeping this in a 4x6 format, because it is a beautiful picture. This one is my favorite picture. And then this one, I just really don't, I could use it. I could definitely use all the blank spaces above or below to create a cluster on. So I could keep this at 4x6, but I don't need to. So it's just a bunch of consideration. This one I want to be up front and the focal point. I want everybody to see this is a beautiful picture. This is my favorite picture. So then I thought, okay, well then I will do a flip flap, you know, and I'll have them all stacked up, and then you can flip through all the different pictures, and then I could just have these two pictures right here. I could move this to over here and still have this be our ship, right? This is, let me introduce you to our ship, and bring this over and have this going like so. And then now I have a great design to work with, because a 12 by 12. Let me bring it into focus for you guys. So I have this 12 by 12. Here is this, here is this. But again, it's not aesthetically pleasing to me. I'm struggling with, now I have a central design. I've got all this space up here to work with. I've got all this space down here to work with. And what do you do when you're just trying to focus on the ship, right? How do you decorate something like this? Because it's very stagnant. There's no real movement. Pretty much the only people moving on the boat were the workers, the employees. You know, they always have their little squeegees and trying to make sure that the deck doesn't stay too wet, so people don't slip, trip, and fall. This one I could cut down to 4x4 and then have it just go straight across and create this band. I feel like I've done that before. I feel like there's nothing different about this design compared to what I've already done. So I'm struggling. So of course I went to, like I said, my Page Map designs, because I didn't want to do a flip out. Because if I do a flip out, a flip flap, then these would be the two pictures that you would see me design with, right? And then this would be my focal photo right on top, because this is the one I want everybody to see on top of my flip flap. And then this one would have been underneath, again, being 4x6, and it doesn't need to be 4x6. It really does not. Yes, I can cut this down to 3x4 and then decorate this part of the flip flap and have, you know, it be a 2-part or a journaling underneath there or something when I flip it up, and then you have more to the design. But I'm already struggling with this huge area right here. Why would I want to add this extra design into my brain when I honestly can't even decide what I'm doing with this big white space, right? So I thought, no, because the layout you guys are going to watch me put together are these two photos, which are mediocre compared to this one. I really want to have this photo. So then I thought, okay, I'll just get rid of these two photos. I don't need them. I really don't. I could just do these two photos here, which shows this one right here, beautiful sunrise getting ready to come up, and then of course the stacks. It would be really great. But what is the point? I really wanted to add these two photos. This one right here is just a beautiful restaurant. It was, I think it's called the Sonoma which is a peaceful, relaxing adult getaway, basically. I think it's an adult-only area of the ship. And then, of course, the helipad. Why do I want the helipad? I don't know. But there was a question, and I don't remember if it was on this cruise or the other cruise, on whether or not there was a helipad. And, of course, I wanted to find it, and I found it. I don't remember where I found it, but I found it. Because it's not like you could see it. You have to go looking for it, to be honest. And so I struggled. I really did. And back to where I was going with this, I went to my page maps. And I have every page map printed off because that's how I work. I like having tangible items in my arsenal. And I honestly don't like flipping through my phone because, for one, I like to have my phone handy when, my kids call, my husband calls, all that stuff. And when I'm flipping through, my husband calls and then I lose my spot, right? I lose where I lose where I was zoomed in at, all that stuff. So I have all of these printed out. And I went and I started with page 1, right? Page 1, page maps, wherever she started back in the day. I think it was 2006, and then somewhere in the middle of the months, like June or May or somewhere in there, and I got to December of 2006. I don't know. Let me look really quick, because she's been doing this for almost 20 years, you guys. It's just been crazy, or maybe she has been doing it for 20 years. But this is my binder, January of 2006. So almost 20 years she's been doing this. She's taken a break this year a couple times, but she's back at it again, and just fabulous. This is Becky Fleck is who I'm talking about when I say she. It's Becky Fleck, and she's got all, look at these, you guys. It is fabulous. If you don't know about page maps, go over to page maps. It is, I mean, look at all of these designs that I have to choose from, and this is one of the areas. I say one because I have another area that I go to when I get stuck and need a direction. I really do. So I only got to December of 2006. I didn't have to go very far. I did actually go, sorry, had to go put that away because there's not enough room on my desk. So I did go a little bit beyond. I marked it with a washi tape so that way I could go, okay, I like this design here on this page. And then I went and flipped through a couple more and a couple more and a couple more. But when my brain focuses on one thing, I really hyper focus on that one thing. And I have a hard time getting past, I really think this design, this specific one right here, is the design for me. And so, but I will still continue to look a little bit. But then once I'm no longer actually looking, and I'm just flipping, then I know I found my design, right? Because I'm no longer looking at what, photo placement or design wise or anything like that. I'm no longer looking at that. And so then I know, okay, my brain is tired. It has told me this is my design, right? And so I looked at it and I was like, okay, so from the photos I already have, because they're already printed, what can I do with this? Again, I can trim this one down and get rid of this little yellow shack and make a photo that's close to, but not exact, to 5 by 3 by 7, or 3 and 3/4. I can, if I choose to, and then of course, mat it on white or mat it on something. This one here can definitely be my 4 by 2 and 3/4. So I could definitely do that with this one. This one I'm kind of stuck with being at 6 inches because of the fact that it goes from side to side. I'm stuck with this being 6 inches, but I can definitely shrink it down to 2 and 3/4. I can definitely make that work. But then there's this one. This one I can probably get it to definitely go 4 across because it already is 4 across, and then make it go to 3 and 3/4. So I definitely wanted to see if I could make that happen and see if I like the photos that I already had to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and I need this to be 3 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off at 4x4 because I'm not sure where I want my clouds, right? So I definitely want this section, but I don't need the trash cans. So let's see if I can make that happen or not. Okay, so 3 1/4, and still keep the design, you know, and the size of the picture. Again, this one I'm stuck with being at 6 inches instead of 5, so this one might not work for me, but we will see. Let me get 2 7/8, so I don't know, or not 7/8, 2 3/4. So let me trim this off. And most of these pictures I wanted because of the clouds. I don't really want to trim off a whole lot. 2 3/4 away from the clouds, because that is what makes them really pleasing to the eye. So here I'm going to trim off this section in here, and I need it to be 2 7/8 as well. I can trim it down to 3, not 7/8. I keep saying 7/8. That is not correct. Let me trim this down just a little bit. So 3 3/4 is where I can get this one to go. So it's a little wider than I wanted it to be as well. And then, trim this one down, and it's going to be not quite, so it's 5 1/4, okay? So there's my plan, my grand master plan right here, okay? So I've got this photo here, I've got this photo here, this one kind of goes like so, and then I have this photo right here. Put it back on my white cardstock. Okay, working with the photos that I already had, right? That is what my goal was, is working with the photos that I already had. Because, you know, I don't want to print anymore. So here, and here, and here roughly is the design. Here it is. So this is what I could do, but I lost my clouds. I lost what I felt like was appealing. This one, I don't know. So I reprinted them, right? I did. I reprinted them. This one I kept at the 4x6 because I know I'm going to cut it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that one down. This one I kept at 4x6 because I knew I was going to trim this one down as well. But I reprinted these smaller. I really did, because I don't like how this goes all the way across, and I cut off everything on these pictures that I could possibly cut off, but I still need to widen this and put what looks like a 1/2 inch gap in between these guys, which means now I'm going to go edge to edge-ish, and I don't like that. This is the problem that I had with keeping this at 6 inches. So let me trim down these other photos for you guys. Looking at. So I will have to remat these photos, but I am much happier with these photos being smaller because I was able to keep my clouds on all of these photos. The clouds are just phenomenal, especially like right in here and seeing the clouds where here I cut them all off. I really like having those clouds. And then same with this one. I feel like, okay, I drew the focus into the stacks, but now I'm able to keep that cloud formation up at the top. Even though they are a little bit smaller, it's okay. I do really like this photo because it is a close-up of those stacks. I really do. But I'm happy with these photos. This one did not need to be this big, but it's fine. It really is. Let me bring them back in to my space and share with you guys now what I've got going on. So I have this one, and this one. I do think that I want this one a little bit smaller because I think this one's too tall now. So let me trim this one down. All right, and now I have this piece here that I can still bring in. I've got our title, or my title, Our Ship. I want it to be at an angle. And then now I've got journaling spots. So so this picture is smaller, and I've just brought in journaling spots. And I can tuck this underneath so that way it's kind of wonky. Tip this. And I've got my gap on both sides that I'm looking for. I've got a gap up at the front and up at the top. So now I just need to decide which pictures, and this one doesn't even need to go that far. It can go over some more. They don't need to be lined right up because they're not in the picture either, or in the sketch, I should say. Becky has in her sketch one side that is a pattern paper, and then the other one looks like scraps that are filling up the void, right? So in my little bag of tricks here, or box or container of tricks, I really like this one too. I might see if I can't bring this in and have it go down the side as well. I wanted to, this is a hot mess. I really like these buttons. I was going to try and see if I can't incorporate the buttons because that's what Becky uses, but I think that's going to make for a very heavy layout, but I'm still going to pull them out like so and see what I can do. I'm not going to worry about the embellishments just yet. I want to get the fundamentals of my design done really quickly, which I say really quickly, but I don't do anything really quickly, to be honest. So now I've got this. And here are my options. I'm going to put this off to the side because I'm thinking I might want to cut out some labels and things. So I've got these options here. So here's my first choice. It's already cut down for me. I would do this, and then I would bring in this piece, as well as nope, not that piece, this piece. So then that way I have a solid and a print, and they would look just like that. Then I would have this going on somewhere in here. If I have to, I will bring this over. Like so. And I still like all of this color because this picture is all of that color, right? It's all of those colors all in one. I have this piece, and then this one, and this one. So again, I don't even know where my sketch went. I have no idea. All right, so there's that one, and then of course this will go like down the center, all wonky looking like so. And I really like that design, right? Oh, you guys can't see it. I apologize. So I really like that design. Okay, next up that I have picked out. So I will put these off to the side. Was this piece of paper. I'm going to try to put it in half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Here. So ignore the other half, right? It's just a design. And then I have, for this one, I have this piece, which isn't quite as long, but that's okay. And then I have this piece, and I don't think in the original sketch they go all the way down either. So there is that, and then we'll put the pictures back in. So here's our cruise. This one will go down lower this time instead of right up at the top. And then we've got these pictures here, here, and here. I'm still thinking this picture needs to be smaller. I think that it's throwing it off. But if I do, I will make it smaller. So there's that design idea. Not really sure. I might switch these two so that way this goes down at the bottom because it seems like it's heavy, and this will go up at the top like so. So it'll end up like that. Or I might switch this out for something else. This is too much the same color in the background, so I don't think I will bring that in. And then this one I didn't want to do because again it's still the same color tone. There's nothing that sticks out, but this is what I had picked out are these. And so yeah, oh, maybe I'll do the pink. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so not my favorite. This one just lost all of its color and whatnot, so this one I'm going to go ahead and put right back in my little bin because I don't like it at all. Okay, that was a decision I made without you guys, I'm sorry. And then I have this one here. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right yonder. Hello. Okay, so now I've got this really cool design that's already decorated for me, right? And then I picked out these pieces. So let me put this actually underneath so you only see a little bit of it. Like so, even though they would be overlapping. And then I've got this one here, like so. Okay, let me push this down all the way because I do like it down. All right. And I'd probably switch these two because this one goes all the way down. And then this one is just a little bit. So let me switch these two. So they'll go like that. Okay, I love that. I really like that. I like the red, I like all the stuff and the bright colors. And then you've got this bright color piece too, along with your bright colored picture. And then all of these, this one will come in and cover up the lighthouse. And then we've got this, and then the flowers kind of go around all of the pictures, right? So you've got that design element already coming in, and then you've got this space to work with right here, which I think is kind of cool because again, I brought in these buttons just because the design suggested it, right? So why not give it a shot? I do have this, but now I'm thinking it's a bit too dark. I'm not really sure. It does go with these dark lines in here. So I have this little element going on here. I've got the buttons, if I know how to open them, which I probably don't. Get off. Okay. And some of these buttons are in the floral aspect, which I think is kind of cool because then it lends to more of the flowers. So I have these guys and these guys. I could add more blue if I wanted to. Again, like it suggests. Let me flip all these buttons over and see what I think. And then let me get into these buttons really quick. I don't know why they're in two separate packages. I think it's because I had two separate embellishment things. Oh, man down. Got it. All right. So then I can bring in some more pink because, you know, you guys like it when I use pink. I don't know why. But I could also add these little guys inside. That's too thick though. I'm not going to do that. But I do like the option of bringing in these little buttons. Right? Probably not these big white buttons. I feel like those ones are super thick. And then I'm not. But these little guys look fun. And I might bring in these guys. I feel like those are too much. I like this. And getting in more of that orange. So I might do something like this, right? I don't know yet. I'm going to go and reprint this, but now where's my 6-inch mark? My 6-inch mark is right here. Do I still want this picture uber big? I think this picture needs to be uber smaller. And do I still want this picture uber big? It's two different companies that are printing. Can you tell the difference? Here's my picture. And can you see the difference? It's two different companies because I used to buy my pictures in bulk and instead of printing them at home, and now I've been heavily printing them at home. Okay, so that is a no on this one. I'm going to keep this one. But this one, I really like it like this. So I think this one needs to be reprinted, but smaller. And I am going to make a decision of whether or not I like this one or this one. Because again, all right, guys, so this is what I have decided on. I'm actually, but I have this string that I would still like to incorporate somehow going down along this row right here, what I've got going on as far as this design. So I have a very central design going on, and then my papers are forming almost like a diamond shape, right? That's ish, a very rough diamond shape. I also went through this paper here by Heidi Swap. Oh, it's stuck. Hang on. Ah, there we go. So I also went through this paper here and cut out a bunch of tags. Why? I don't know, but I thought it would be kind of neat to put these tags on either side, like this one here going like so, and have a tag representing right here. It's crooked. I can't do the crooked. Okay. If it's crooked, it's fine. Maybe. I don't know. And then I can do this larger tag, say right in here. That would be kind of cool. Oh, no, wait, because it's the same color. I don't want that. But I can do this one because it is a different color right up in here. Maybe down, not up, down. Okay. So I did glue all these down just so that way I can get a starting point. So there, I'll have that one going right about there, because as far as the sketch goes, I'm pretty much done with the sketch. Like I've decided I'm not going to do the buttons because all my buttons were super bright and super matching the other layout. So that is another design idea that I can go with. Get under there. There we go. All right. So as far as the design goes, I'm done with my sketch. Now I just need to figure out what I want to do with the rest of what I've got going on. Now I can do this one going this way if I choose to, just because of the fact that all the others are going this way as well. So I like that idea. Just like so. I still have this string-a-thing that I'm not sure what I'm going to do. And then I have this design. I could have this going this way, just so that way I've got my 3 and then this one going off on this side. But I think I am going to have it go like so and start doing something different. What do I have going on here? I don't know, but I did glue it all down. And I think I want it to be popped up maybe like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so then I haven't lost my design element in the middle or my little triangle diamond thing that I have going on here. I am going to figure out what I want to do as far as decorations go. I don't know. I like this one here just because it's a ship and ships have anchors. I also want to incorporate a flare because I pulled out all these flare, right? So these camera flare actually came in our cruise kit for the ship, but I have another anchor. I actually have a boat that says vacation. I can do that. I have Bon Voyage. I just have a boat. I could do that one as well. It is very soft and subtle. I feel like it goes with the colors I've already picked out. So I'm gonna hold that off to the side. I do wanna look and see, aren't these little animals adorable? I'm sorry, they are adorable. I like this one too because again, it gives me that, that color that I could pick from. I also have the plain, ooh, this boat here, that's super cool. So I could add another boat. So let me build a pile. That one I think is a bit too big. And I do say boat, you guys, I really do. It is just something, I think that's too dark. I think it's just, it's a fun word to say. It really is. Boat is just a very, very fun word to say. Okay, so I've got two more that I picked out that I would like to incorporate in here. I don't think I'm gonna do two anchors. I'd rather have two boats than two anchors, or these two images going on there. So I'm not really sure. I don't want three. Okay, so I've made up my marbles. These are the two that I'm gonna go for. Just because I really need to use up, my flare. This is ridiculous. But the best part is I've got another cruise coming up. I can save these. I actually have two cruises that I'm still working on, and all of these colors match with both cruises. So once I'm done with this, or in the middle of all my cruises, I can use both packets. Then I have my other bits and pieces, which are here. Trying not to. So I've got these guys, my little tray, and then I have lots of other little bits, right? I'm just going to grab all of these right here. I'm not going to use everything. Clearly, I can't, because that's just too much going on. So I don't think I'm going to do any shells or anything like that, so I can put that off to the side. I don't think I'm going to be doing anything like this. I do like what's going on in here, so I might look and see what's in there. I love this octopi. Oh my god. Do you think if only he was going the other way, because then I could kind of have him going like this, but he's going this way. I don't know if I can get him to look good. Let me take him out of his package. I just really like him. I think he's adorable. He'll look even better once I take the masking off. But if I could get him to incorporate in this dead space of these photos and connect like so, I think that would be amazing. What do you guys think? Maybe, oh, he's gonna have to turn because my fish can't swim down. Ooh, I like that. Turn a little bit more in, and I think I'm going to go with that. I really do. I really like how that looks. I think I'm going to incorporate maybe some of these as the elements going down with my string. Maybe. I'm not really sure. My string needs to make up its marbles of what it's going to do. It needs to tell me how it wants to lay. That's how my strings work. They tell me what they want and what they need. I also have these fun little elements. I was thinking about, I don't know, but they were in my brain. So how I use these guys, because these are big, these are bulky. This is about a quarter, ooh, that's about a quarter of an inch, if not bigger. And what I do with these guys to make them not so thick is I actually take them apart. So I peel them apart just like so. Get out. Move this string-a-thing, or spring. It's a spring. Okay, and now I have super thin pieces to go with, right? And what I was going to do is right here will hold my twine down and make it look like my twine is actually being held down by these little pins, and get this to hold down like so, and then let's do one more. And I will eventually be taking these all apart anyways. So I'm okay with taking more than I need apart. Okay, and then I can put this one down and right in here. And so that way it's got to go this way. That way they look like they're holding my string down, and it's a fun little element. But then again, is it too clothespinny, right? Is it too much like laundry? I don't want it to look like laundry. I'm not going to use film strips because that's what I did already. This little guy's cute because he is like a seagull on a pole on a post. So he's super cute, but I don't think he's gonna go with what I've got going on already, right? It's almost like I've got the Kraken going on here. Hopefully no Kraken got our boat. Clearly not, because we're still sitting here. I've got this element in here to look at. I've got these elements. So I don't think I'm gonna do the seagull. So there we go. And then I'm gonna go through. So this is my last pieces. I like going places. So I could do this. Oh no, I can go up here. Going places. Our ship going places. Ooh, that's cute. Okay. And then I have all of these. Now these things are 49 in Market. They're uber old, from Shipwreck collection and something else collection. I cannot remember to save my life. But when 49 in Market had the smaller paper packs, they all came with a bunch of little itty bitty laser cut pieces on a 12 by 12 within the paper pack. And so things like this will look amazing. So I could have this going at the top and at the bottom, should I want it to. Or I could have it going like this. Let me see what else I have. I have lots of anchors because that's what happens. I like this little guy. He's kind of cute. Tuck it in here. That's cute. Okay. I need to find out where I'm going to put this. I think it's going to go here. And then I'm going to have this here. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then a little camera down there. All right, so I don't need that. Oh, the Little Mermaid. She's cute. I don't think that this is what I'm going to do, because it does. It looks like it looks like I'm getting ready to do my laundry, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Maybe if I incorporate them. Nope. Not gonna happen. Okay. So let me get this, and then I'll have to finagle this. This is gonna go underneath. I'm thinking like so. Let me, bam, bam. I know, I'm just too lazy to pull out scissors and cut it open. Okay. Under. There we go. Just to give it another little layer and that darker spot. Okay, just like so. And then my little camera guy. I'm just trying to see if I even need him. Please hold. I like this. I like all this. Do I need my camera guy? I feel like now I have 4 spots where here I have 3. I can put my camera guy here. But then he's too big. He's really too big. I can put my camera guy here and the little boat in, like the Kraken has the boat. That's what it is. It'll stick down further once there. So it'll look like that, and then once I get the adhesive down, it'll actually stick down. And these epoxy ones are a little bit more, ooh, I like that. Okay, so I might do that. I may or may not do this, because this might look cool too, and just have the 2. Get rid of this and just have the 2. Like so. You need to stay there. I'm going to put my flare over there for a hot minute. All these little nubbies. Alright. And then I can put this here. Oh, what is that? Our ship is going places. And then I just have the two with this in the middle. And then the sequins will kind of interconnect going on. I like that. Okay. And then I will share with you guys how I plan on attaching my string-a-ma-thing. that is my layout. Thank you so much for checking out my conundrum that I had and allowing me to share real time how I put this layout together, what I chose, what my options were, having all the different paper choices that I had, and finally coming up to a conclusion with what I wanted to do as far as my papers and my pictures being at the 4x6, because for sure, I definitely love, oh, please hold. I definitely love my 4x6 pictures, but I have been drifting towards all of these smaller pictures, and I think that they help when I want everyone to focus on this one picture, but these are supporting photos, right? These are more pictures of our ship, right? And what the top deck looks like, and what, well, some of it. It's not all of the top deck, because my goodness, there was so much on this ship. Anyways, again, there it is. I absolutely love it. Here, let me hold it up to you guys nice and close so you guys can see all that detail and what is going on. I love the addition of the tags and how they incorporate to everything. I've got a little journaling spot, whoops, right in here. I just absolutely love it. My title and then a subtitle, Our Ship is Going Places. I just love it. So anyways, again, thank you so much, and I'll check you guys all later.